Welcome to the 30-Minute Podcast.
Full topics in half an hour for the intellectually curious. I'm Mariposa.
And I am the IZZ. Today,
Yes.
I am feeling good.
Oh, really?
Feeling real good. I am in peacock mode. I happen to have had on a piece of headwear the other day.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw it, but it was on social media and it was really received well.
Yeah, I saw a few likes.
Yeah. Had a little bit of strawberry in it, but it was mainly a tangerine plastered on a canary yellow canvas.
Yes, I saw
And it was a piece of artwork.
Yeah, you look very handsome. Okay, we got that out
but
of the way.
did you? Wait! It made me do some research. Did you know that hat making or millinery is the design, manufacture, and sale of hats and headwear?
I did know that.
Did you also know that a hat maker can also be called a milliner?
Yes, I did know that.
Did you know that historically, milliners sold primarily to women clientele?
Yes, I knew that also.
Well, since you know so much, maybe you know that today we are going to talk to a game changer. Did you know that?
Yes, our wonderful guest.
We have a wonderful guest. He can be described as either a what?
A milliner.
Or a hat maker. We are talking to the incomparable. We want to welcome to the 30-Minute Podcast Studios, the one and only Ted Jackson.
Welcome to the program.
Thank y'all for having me on the program. I'm super excited, just like y'all are. You know what I mean? I woke up this morning ready.
Yes, love the energy.
Tell us about the G-Spot creation.
All right. I'm a hat wearer. You know what I mean? I believe your hat is an accessory that kind of adds to whatever you wear and kind of shows your personality. And I thought that the hats that I had, I liked them, but I didn't necessarily feel like they were showing me as an individual. So I designed about 6 hats. After I looked at them and my wife looked at them, she said, you know what? You ought to think about doing this and offer them to the people. And I was like, nah, I said, these are mine. You know what I mean? I said, I made these just for me to be able to wear and people can look at it and say, I like that hat because I like compliments like that. You know what I mean? I decided, you know what? Let me go ahead. And I started showing people and I got a real good response from it. So I decided to go ahead and do it. So it's pretty much like handcrafted or stitched hat bands. Sometimes I do some hand beading and I also carefully select any other adornments. And then I select a certain button that goes on every hat. I believe that the button, it kind of represents the relationship that's formed when your hat brings together your outfit or your wardrobe. That's what the button means, to get buttoned up, get that outfit tight, right? But when you walk into the room, I believe that you want to have everybody's attention and it should arouse your individuality. G-Spot.
Speaking of arousal, let's talk about the name. I'm sure you get a lot of questions about that, the G-Spot. So ostensibly, we know what that is, but tell us a little bit more about how that piqued people's interest in your business.
All right. So I wanted to catch people's attention. You know what I mean? Something where they're like, hey, what exactly is he talking about? But originally, it was Gentleman's Spot. You know what I mean? I want to design something for men. I've always felt like I wanted to offer something that'll help men look a certain way or express their individuality as well. G-Spot was the thought. I felt like if you have the right outfit and you look good, then you can arouse that individuality that you have inside and other people to see it. So
very interesting. I mean, I do want to say, though, I think the Gentleman's Spot is called the P-Spot. But that can be for another show, another time.
Another time.
Okay,
right.
There we go.
All right.
I'm going to leave that one alone today.
Okay.
So, Ted, I've known you for many years.
Yes, you have.
A number of years. We won't even go down there. But I do know one thing, that this is not your first venture as an entrepreneur. So can you kind of walk the 30-minute podcasters, the half hours, the half fools, as we call them. Can you tell the half fools and walk them through the timeline of your entrepreneurial adventures and what led you to where you are today?
All right. So years ago, before me and my wife even got married, we decided we wanted to go into business because she's a serial entrepreneur as well. We came out with TDN Enterprises. We were actually selling Quickstar. For those who don't know, Quickstar was a subsidiary of Amway. Amway was more of the global name, and Quickstar is more of the United States or the local area name for it. We were trying to teach people It was a mindset. If you buy from yourself, you know what I'm saying, you're putting money back inside your pocket. So we were teaching people a different mindset. I went from there to Melaleuca. It was kind of the same thing where you were teaching people to buy products, but they had natural cleaning products.
Yeah, the earth-friendly, eco solutions.
And I didn't want to just keep spraying those solutions and causing problems with my kids with the chemicals and whatnot. I didn't want kids born with 3 fingers, 2 toes, you know what I mean?
Oh,
so
no.
That's what I was trying to go for. Also did an in-home daycare. For 1 to 2 years, my wife stayed home with our kids, but she also had 3 or 4 other kids. Licensed by the state, had a meal program. So we did that. We transformed our garage into a daycare. From there, we went on to having mental health agencies. My wife is a therapist, so we've had 3 different locations of mental health agencies. We've had after-school programs where we did group and individual counseling with the kids. I met them at the bus stop, brought them on in, we fed them, we did homework with them for an hour, but then we also had individual and group sessions, so we kind of understand the kids and the community as well. So,
and that sounds like a reboot opportunity with what's happening today.
Right. I'm going to give you kudos on that. What was unique about that particular program is that you all mentored and counseled with the families, but then you had one of those CMB, Am I My Brother's Keeper, where you had 2 or 3 families that would partner up and they would kind of look out. They were almost like extensions of like your aunties, and then they had group sessions in groups of 3 families. So then they had someone to talk to about their problems if they were going through the same thing or if they had to handle it. I really like that, but I'm sorry, continue. I just had to shout you out.
Oh, no problem. That was my Nino Brown moment. Am I My Brother's Keeper. All right. So then we went to a radio show, Nicole Jackson Show. And then we did a television show where I produced and directed the Nicole B. Jackson Show as well.
Tell us about that, because you can kind of still find that somewhere, can't you?
Yes, you can. You can actually still find the videos if you Google Nicole B. Jackson Show. It was actually on Comcast 24.
I remember that.
Yeah. It was locally filmed. We had about 10 episodes where we were inviting different people. We had local artists. We had a chef come in to prepare meals. We had local dance agencies. And we gave people the opportunity to show what they had. But at the same time, my wife was still talking to them on the mental health topics as well.
Nice.
So I went from there to Jackson & Jackson Consulting, where I sat down with families to actually help them plan for the future. Nothing like leaving something for somebody else. Kind of the same idea as being an entrepreneur. But I also sold insurance. And then I told my wife, hey, let's close the doors of everything. We shut down one of the agencies. We decided to be normal people.
Wow.
We wanted a 9 to 5. Let's just go to work and come home and watch the kids grow.
So, Neo, you told me you got out the Matrix, then went back in the Matrix.
I did. I couldn't help it. It's like Pookie. It kept calling. You know what I mean? It kept calling me. So,
yeah, well, that's so interesting, the path that you just laid out, because you talked about a lot of essential type services, insurance and daycare and things of that, counseling. And then this is fashion. So maybe some people may look at it as more so of a luxury. So how have you been able to get such a following for something that some would consider a luxury?
So what I do believe that one of the quotes that my wife was coining when she was doing her business is, you don't have to look like what you've been through.
Wow, I like that.
Therapy can also be a retail therapy as well. And also, when you wake up in the morning and you put clothes on, I believe you act like you dress. I'm in education. So I've been in education for 19 years. I've taught, and now I'm a counselor within the school system.
Okay.
And the reason why people do uniforms, because when you put on a certain outfit or clothing, you behave in a certain way.
Okay.
Kind of like going to church and everybody act all uppity and stuff. When they go to church, they don't want to mess their clothes up. But when you want to get rugged and play, you put on some relaxed clothes. So I believe what you wear kind of makes you who you are.
Well, it's your statement too.
It's definitely your statement.
When you walk in the room.
And it can also make you feel good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So it's a positive aspect to it.
I know I was playing that 2 Chainz. I feel good. Shout out to 2 Chainz. But that was because I put on that hat. I'm still feeling good. I don't even have the hat on today. I feel like I got the hat on.
Yeah, you acting like you still got it on.
I feel good.
Yeah. So like I said, I'm in education. I've always been in service industries. So I believe in helping people, serving the people. So that's what I'm pretty much geared towards. The ultimate goal is to one day have a community center.
Okay.
Where we can offer a whole lot of different products in one place, a one-stop shop for individuals.
Oh, that sounds phenomenal. So let's take a back step, though, because the fashion industry, so to speak, is pretty well known for being tough to break into for individual brands. It's a lot of conglomerates, and we've all seen the competition shows and people are like having meltdowns because their dress didn't make the cut or whatever it was they were designing. So how did you basically forge your way into this space as an independent? And what can you share with the intellectually curious listeners that we have that might help them have their breakthrough in the same area?
The belief that what you're putting out is worth your time and worth other people. Worth other people paying attention to. I didn't go into it for money. I just have a love for fashion. I've always liked clothes. I'm a shopper. It was one of the things that makes me happy to look and feel a certain way. So I would tell people to don't do it just because you're thinking that if I sell this, I can make some money. Do it because it's something that you love to do. It's not about how much I'm going to make for it. It's about making somebody feel good about what they have on. But also, I just love what I do.
Loving what you do. But it also goes back to that mindset you talked about earlier in your first venture about if you're going to spend money, you might as well spend your money on yourself, right? Mm-hmm. You might as well be able to capitalize off of your spending. Deion Sanders said it best. When you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, you act good.
Yes, sir.
What if somebody wants to look at the hats right now while we're on? We're going to talk about it at the end, but go ahead and give them where they should so they can see what I'm talking about when they see those hats.
All right, so if you want to check them out, and I think you should, go to the-g-spot-creation.myshopify.com, and you can check out all the different hats we have. Each hat is different. So what I wanted to do was allow whoever has one of my hats to be able to say no one else in the world is going to have a hat that looks just like this. So my goal is to make each and every hat different. So again, express everybody's individuality.
Yeah, I want to customize mine.
You let me know.
Okay.
You let me know.
I like it.
So then if they want the bowler type hat or if they want more of the straw hat or the cowboy hat.
Each one a trilby. Yeah.
Okay.
All different types of hats. I have all different types of style, different types of adornments.
Well, talking to you, it sounds, everybody would surmise that you are a serial entrepreneur. But this time it seems like this one is really about you and what you really like. If we can say emancipation from just doing a venture. So from a business standpoint, can you delve into that venture?
Yeah. So out of all the things that I've done, I felt like I was doing it because it was what I was supposed to do. I'm supposed to leave something for my family. I'm supposed to have multiple streams of income so we can have money coming in and not depend on one different egg. Don't put all my eggs in one basket. So in doing that, it wasn't necessarily because I like doing it. I went to college. I went to University of Georgia. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Yeah. I tell the kids every day, it's not about the money. So you could be a doctor. You could be a lawyer. But if you don't like it, you won't be the best doctor or lawyer that you can be. Find something that makes you happy and you will do that to the best. You know what I mean? A quote from De La Soul, one of my favorite rap groups. It said, if I was a rug cleaner, I bet you I'd have the cleanest rugs. All right? So whatever you're doing, be the best at what you're doing. But the only way to do that is kind of love what you're doing.
Well, shout out to De La Soul. That's a classic group right there. That's conscious rap, which I miss personally.
And what we're going to do is we're going to take a time out right now to just on that note, just to look and see if you can find your way to be the best listener that you can. Take a moment. We're going to take a moment so I can take a moment to regroup and be the best podcaster that I can be. And I'm going to try on some more of these G-Spot creation hats so I can get the energy to keep this energy going. But while we're doing that, here's a word from our sponsors.
This episode of the 30-Minute Podcast is sponsored by Genevieve Solutions. Genevieve Solutions is a niche PMO project management office that offers a unique approach to franchise identification and matching results in franchise business ownership that fits your personal, professional, and financial lifestyle. Contact them at GenevieveSolutions.com. That's GENIVID Solutions.com. And welcome back. We're still here with the G-Spot Creations.
On the 30-Minute Podcast, full topics in half an hour. Di ZZ.
And I'm Mariposa.
And we are here with Ted Jackson. Ted Jackson from the G-Spot Creation.
Yes, sir.
We have a couple more questions I want to get into, but I want to give you an opportunity to just tell the people about your views on community. We do it usually at the end, but I don't want to miss this because I feel like we're going to jump into some other things. So
community, I believe community is important. Growing up, your grandmama got on you, your auntie would get on you, your mama would get on you, your older brother, Miss Jenkins in the neighborhood, Papa Daddy who drove the truck that sold the watermelons. If he saw you doing
shout out to Papa Daddy.
You know what I mean? All these people were actually a part of your community and they helped you grow. They developed you as an individual. They taught you right from wrong and you listened. So we got to get back to that type of thing where we're helping each other as a whole, holistically. We're helping each other financially. We're helping each other mentally. We're helping each other physically. We're working out. We team with somebody, wake up in the morning, ask us what you eat this morning. Did you get out and did you walk this morning? All right. Did you read something? Let's stimulate your mind a little bit. What's the latest book that you read?
Yes.
So being able to help each other build the entire person as a community is very important. Like I said, part of the G-Spot is helping people look good and feel good about themselves when they get dressed in the morning and manifesting who you are inside by showing people how you feel. All right. So all of it ties together as far as community goes, because without the community, I don't think you have anything. What they say, united we stand, divided we fall.
Interesting. Adaptation to fashion. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And again, that button brings it all together.
Because if you don't have the buttons, then the clothes fall off. Well, I like that.
It ties it together. It brings it together. It tightens. Not only that, it keeps everything from falling apart.
Get buttoned up.
Get buttoned up.
That's pretty cool. Especially in these times, I think a lot of the fashion sense has seemingly gone out the window. I know I've been on a few Zoom calls where I wasn't quite sure what was going on the other end, but we still want to be in charge of our image. And so I think it's very important. But
that's a whole thing with individuality. What somebody else sees, what one man's junk is another man's treasure. You may look at what they have, what someone is wearing and kind of wonder to yourself, I don't know what they were thinking this morning, but that's their individuality. And that's what's really good about the creativity that people have, or the expression that people have about themselves, is being able to show you who you are when you get dressed. And a lot of people have a hard time doing that. So we're trying to assist those people in getting to the point of having that, not having to look like what you've been through.
Yeah, I really like that. And also, I guess along the same lines, you talked about a lot of different entrepreneurial pursuits, but we on the 30-Minute Podcast like to try to address people facing their fears. There's a lot of people that have either tried to start a business or never really got off the ground, or they've always had a thought in their head and they just never really acted upon it. So what's some of the things that you could share about people facing their fears when it comes to starting a business?
Fear, the thought of your reality, whatever you have in your head being real. And a lot of times we put our own blocks up. We are the reason why we don't succeed. We're the reasons why we don't try. And I do understand why, because like you said, there are a lot of different roadblocks, a lot of people that may not support you. It's the money that's involved. It's planning it out, starting your business, getting your business name, coming up with all the different things that go along with it. But part of it is believing that I have to be perfect. Okay. And I went through it as well. You want everything in place before you actually get started. And the reality is nothing's ever perfect. And if you keep waiting and keep putting it off, it'll never happen. For years, I told myself that I wanted to have a laundromat. That's a staple in a community, because there are always going to be people who don't have a washing machine at home. Right. So why not have a laundromat? Do I have one now? No. Because I kept putting it off. I kept thinking about different reasons why I shouldn't be doing it. If you're gonna be the person that you want to be, if you're gonna leave the legacy for your kids, kids, or just let everyone understand who you are as a person, release the fear, jump into it. Don't be afraid to be wrong. The best thing about being wrong, you know what not to do the next time. You know what I mean? Learn from your mistakes. Every mess up teaches you something, and then just learn from whatever you did the time before, and get a mentor. Get someone who's done some of the stuff that you're trying to go through that can actually keep you from falling through those holes. You know what I mean? Do it. If it doesn't work, try again. And if that doesn't work, try again. Even someone who has a business, they develop their business as they're going through it. One of the main things, my brother, he's an artist. When he first started selling his pictures, he was just creating pictures because he didn't know what style was going to be the style that he'll end up painting in or drawing in, or because he used color pencils. But as he keeps continuing on, he'll develop that particular style that everyone will see when they see his picture. So continuing your journey, and it will manifest what it's supposed to be.
We've heard that before. That was first of all, that'll preach. I have to say that'll preach. But we've talked about over the time of doing this podcast and with different interviews, something that you mentioned, the importance of mentorship. But what I have to ask you is, who is your mentor? Or what did you use as a vehicle to help you get to the G-Spot creation?
All right. So I've had a lot of people in my life that have been mentors / people that I looked up to. Starting out with my brother, I watched him build a business, just him and his wife, and just reading the books that he would give me to read. So he was kind of like my mentor. And even inside when I was selling insurance, I had a mentor there who was teaching me the ins and outs and how I needed to speak and what I needed to do to present the products to the people. But I'll even throw you in there, my man. I watched you over the years with COG. You know what I mean? And I was inspired knowing that somebody I know is doing what they love to do. I have a friend, Tara. She does Tara Brown Designs. Travis Stroud, he has Game Breaker. James Cornelius, he does lovemyplug.com. Derek Jackson, the artist.
Wow, you got a whole yearbook of people.
Shout out to I Love My Plug TV, that new venture.
Whether or not Warren, my sister-in-law, who has we're actually working together this weekend. We're selling products together. So I've had a lot of people in my life that were influences where I watched them build what they were doing, and they were influence to me. They made me want to continue and grow and become the person I am.
Our Media, shout out to Our Media.
Exactly. Our Media, who did my photo shoot recently and does all the pictures for me. So again, shout out Rashid.
Well, that's great. I love it because it's not just one person and a singular focus. You're talking with different people and gaining from their experiences. So it's not just a one and done. I think that's probably, if there is any, I won't call it a mistake, but if there's anything people can learn about mentors, you can have multiple mentors and you can have different types of mentors in different seasons. It sounds like that's the approach you took.
Oh, yeah. So, and it goes without saying, I got to throw her in there. My beautiful wife, Nicole B. Jackson. I've watched her grind for at least 9 to 10 years in building her business as far as the mental health agency. And I watched her do the ins and outs, the ups and the downs, the celebrations, the upset times where things don't go the way you want to go, the closing of the doors, the reopening of the doors. So watching her sit next to me and watching her do what she was doing was a true inspiration. And last but not least, my mom. My mom is always in my corner. You know, she'll be the first to tell me, why are you waiting? What you waiting on? Somebody else gonna do it before you. You better go ahead and do it now. You know what I mean? So I've always had her in my corner. So just those two inspirational ladies throughout my time have also helped me as well.
Well, it sounds like you created a support system for yourself through mentorship. And family.
Okay, and let's take it on the flip side of that. We've talked about mentorship. We're going to give you a minute. You got a minute. You're in front of your mentee. You just envision your mentee. You got a minute. What do you say to your mentee?
Who are you? What makes you tick? When you wake up in the morning, what do you like? What makes you happy? What are you good at? I think a lot of times we have to figure out one thing or two things that we're actually good at. We all have a God-given talent. Figure out what that God-given talent is. And once you do figure that out, cultivate it. Find some way, somehow, to get into what you love to do. Become an intern if you have to. Walk in somebody else's shoes and learn from them and let them tell you how to grow what you're trying to grow. Never be afraid to take criticism. So listen to somebody, be coachable. The worst thing in the world is to have an idea that I can do this all on my own and I don't need anybody else. All right. So be humble, be thirsty, but also be coachable in what you're doing.
Yeah. And I agree with you. I think feedback is a gift. And of course, in the delivery and all of that, it has a lot to do with it, why people are offended. But then also, if you are taking the approach of having a support system and you're talking to others, you're dealing with mentors, you're going out and meeting with people who have been there before you to learn from their experience, I think you're typically more open to receiving that feedback. So that's great advice.
And open your circle to people that are doing successfully what you're trying to do. Put yourself around successful people. it's crazy that what they say the definition of insanity is continue doing the same thing and expect a different result. Okay, so come outside of yourself. Be uncomfortable. The only way to really grow is to be uncomfortable. So set yourself in a situation where you're forced to grow. You know what I mean? And that's the only way you can do that is to be able to listen to others and follow what they're saying. So open up your circle. If the people that you are around aren't supportive and aren't trying to get you to where you want to be, well, maybe you need to change your circle.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think a lot of times people want that adoption from their core group, but maybe that is just to push you to talk to other people. So if the core group is not down for the cause, then hey, let's keep it moving. Meet some new people, expose them to it. What one person doesn't like you said, it's like fashion. It's a different expression. So it may not work over here, but it could work great someplace else. So just keep going.
And tell us one more time as we're getting ready to close, what is the name of the LLC, of your line, your fashion line?
All right, we are G Spot Creations LLC. You can follow me on Facebook at G Spot Creation and also Instagram at the G Spot Creation. The website, the-g-spot-creation.myshopify.com. Check me out. Find something that expresses your individuality. Arouse your individuality. G Spot Creations. Get buttoned up.
The IZZ.
And I'm Mariposa. That's another episode. Thanks for joining us.